Hey Hawks, I'm Emily Sweet.
And I'm Natalie Henderson. Welcome to this week's episode of Hawk Talk.
If you were at last Friday's football game, you may have heard some of the sick beats of one of our own Hawks.
Student Alex Imbrano is not only a lacrosse player and ASB member, but he's also a DJ.
So DJ Zella, so all I did was take my first name Alex and then flip it around, and I think the proper pronunciation is Xella. I first thought of it as like a joke, and then I'm just like, nah, let's do it. I started DJing when I actually got my first iPod Touch back when I was like 12, 11, and I got this app on there. I still have it on my phone. It's called DJ, like literally that's what it's called. Yeah, I just started with that. A friend showed me it. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. And I just got really good at the phone one. And then I got my laptop, which was kind of really the start of it, because like you can do so many things just with a laptop. A little bit after that, maybe when I was 15, 16-ish, 14, I got my first big set, and it was used off of Craigslist, total steal. It was super cool, and I use it all the time now. It's really just something that I've learned to just have fun with. Like, it's just all about knowing what they want to hear and then just giving it to them, and even something better along the way. And then I also get to bond with my dad a lot over it. He was extremely supportive of all of it. Before I got my license, he would like drive me to gigs. He helps me set up all the time. He's like my tech guy. So I just set up my stuff. He sets up like speakers and stuff and lights. Yeah, super cool though. I have stuff like ready to drop, just like, I don't know, I have stuff in the kitchen ready to be fed. I don't know.
Don't forget to follow Alex on Instagram at DJZella529 and on SoundCloud at DJZella.
That guy's a pretty epic Hawk.
Speaking of Hawks, one of our graduates' dad has a unique collection to say the least.
Let's check it out.
Meet world-renowned tuba player Stan Freese. We got to sit down with him to hear more about his journey.
My main instrument is tuba, and I got into that on a bet, and I was dared that, I would not pick the tuba. And this was 1954, and I just never quit. And I had so much fun with it and did so many crazy things with it. Yeah, I collect old funky instruments. I collect, old tubas. Yeah, I've got a whole tree full of them out in the front of the house, and just some old string instruments. And in that room, I've got a whole bunch of band instruments, a different kind of brass band, baritones, trumpets, trombones, and all. Everything has a story, And so I like to collect eclectic, crazy things. And just have them. So it makes it fun, makes life fun. Life has to be fun. Don't take yourself seriously. Obviously, I don't. So that's about it. The tuba tree.
Hey Natalie, have you heard that one song? It goes like, ooh, ah, 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 ah. Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about, but that was a few too many X-rays.
This is Extra A's.
If anyone is interested in wearing the Hawk suit at any football game, sign up outside of the activities office.
Seniors and juniors, the out-of-state college fair is taking place on October 10th from 9 to 10:30 a.m. Sign up with Miss Hamilton in the College and Career Center.
Seniors, come to room 902 on Tuesdays or Thursdays at break or lunch to take your senior personality pictures. Last day to take your photo is October 11th.
The homecoming dance will be held on Saturday, October 20th from 8 to 11 p.m. Prices are as follows.
Miss Placentia and Miss Yorba Linda are looking for students. If you're interested, please talk to your counselor.
Community service hours can be earned by helping Lupe during the Holiday Boutique on October 6th. See Lupe if interested.
Attention, there will be a representative from the following colleges on campus on the following dates. Sign up with Mrs. Hamilton in the College and Career Center.
Science Olympiad, there will be a full team meeting today at lunch in room 901.
Interact Club will meet on Monday at lunch in room 509 for information about serving at the Heritage Day Parade on Saturday, October 13th.
NHS applications are due tomorrow, Friday, October 5th. No late applications will be accepted.
This is your last chance to vote for homecoming nominations. Make sure to go to votingforschools.com right now because voting ends at 10 o'clock.
Our fall sports teams have been pretty busy.
Let's take a look at how our teams have been doing.
Boys water polo won against Canyon on Tuesday 7-3. They play against El Medina next Tuesday. On Monday, our girls golf team won 248-250 against Brea Linda. They next play Brea again on Monday. Last Friday, our football team lost 34-3 against the Yorba Linda Mustangs. Their next game is at home against the Villa Park Spartans tonight. Girls volleyball won with a score of 3-0 against El Medina on Tuesday. They play against Esperanza today. The girls' tennis team lost 4-14 against Foothill on Tuesday. They play Villa Park today after school.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Hawk Talk.
As you may know, this past Friday, we lost a former teacher and coach.
To remember and honor the legacy that Coach Cyrus left behind, we've dedicated the remainder of the broadcast to him. Thank you to everyone who helped us put this together.
John Cyrus was a 1968 graduate of Valencia High School and played in the very first Bell game. He was hired to teach there in 1976. Mr. Cyrus coached football and track until he became the head tennis coach in 1982 and eventually found his way to El Dorado in 1994. Mr. Cyrus retired from teaching in 2017 but continued to coach both girls and boys tennis here at El Dorado High School. Mr. Cyrus passed away this past Friday, September 28th, after a long, courageous battle with cancer.
He's impacted my life like no one else, and this team has become a family because of him.
Coach Cyrus was the most selfless person we've ever known.
He walked his talk as well as anyone I've ever met. We're so fortunate that he was a Hawk. He wasn't just a great teacher and a great coach, although he was those things. He was a great human, an incredible teammate. We're very, very lucky that he was El Dorado and that we got to be El Dorado with him.
He was my teacher for English class. It was his first year of becoming a teacher. You know, I'm gonna miss him a lot because he did a lot of impact in my life.
What he taught was having integrity, and he taught responsibility and so many other life lessons. And he had really high standards for people, which would have been tough, except that you knew he believed you could do it.
He kind of made me who I am, because the choices I made because I wanted to make him proud.
He was laying in the bed, hooked up to 2 bags of blood, his face covered with a mask to prevent further infection. But his iPad was open. And I asked him, I said, John, what are you doing? And he goes, well, I'm making notes for practice. And I said, what do you mean practice? He goes, practice today. I got to take these notes to help our team practice today. His team at that time was 1-20, if memory serves me correct.
Thank you, Coach Cyrus, for always believing in me and for always encouraging us every day to be the best versions of ourselves.
Coach Cyrus was not just a coach, he was a friend. He was always there for everyone.
After a tough loss like 0-18, he sat us down and just took out his phone and started playing a Starship song.
He always said this thing to us like, if there's a point where you think no one believes in you and you stop believing in yourself, then just to remember that Coach Cyrus always believes in you. And
he went through a lot, but I think the great thing about him was he never let that stop him from being the kind, loving person that he was.
It was all about the little things and the details that he left behind for people. He would show up way before most teachers would get here. He would remain at school long after, and in between he would tutor and he would do all these things to help his athletes and to help his students as well.
He has a dog named Yogi. He's the cutest. And he was just saying, don't feed anything to the dog or else I'll feed you to him.
He has instilled in us just amazing life lessons that I know that I will take with me for the rest of my life.
I remember shaking his hand and I told him that if I had achieved great success, I would go back to him. I'm still achieving along my path, but I wanted to say thank you.
I will forever be grateful for the indomitable spirit that Coach Cyrus gave to me to give 100% effort and 100% commitment. And I strive to teach these principles to my children today. Coach Cyrus, I will never forget you.
And what I appreciate most about what he would tell me is that loving and caring for your students isn't being their best friend. It's about being a mentor and teaching them how to be successful and independent in life.
Coach Cyrus was such an impactful part of my life and my growing in high school. And for that, he'll be truly missed.
He was our mentor, our teacher, our parent, our #1 supporter. And he was just Coach Cyrus. There's no one else like him.
And he told us to look out at the trees and the beautiful blue sky and be thankful for life.
John was a very passionate, principled, faithful man. He was the consummate father, family man, and the quintessential teacher, coach that every athletic director and every parent hopes that their kids have the opportunity to be in John's class or be out on the tennis courts with Johnny.
He had such a love for his students. He had such high expectations for them, and he always saw the good in all his students, and he wanted them to reach their potentials.
He made a point to come to every single play that his schedule permitted him to come to, and we always had conversations afterwards in the copy room about the shows, and he would always say, "What's next?"
He was so open about his love for his family and so open about fighting to walk his daughters down the aisle, fighting to see little baby Malcolm be born, fighting to have a few more memories with his beautiful wife Pam. And I find that not only beautiful, but also truly heroic.
I will miss him so much, but I will never forget everything that he gave of himself to me and many others.
Thank you for impacting my life in such a positive way.
I think it was really important for me and for a lot of us to have someone who was as strong of a role model and someone who cared about us so much to be on the team.
It didn't take me long to see how much dedication he had to the team, how much love he had for all of the players, including myself.
Every moment we had with him, he'd always say something like so wise.
Coach was amazing. He was really wise, righteous.
John Cyrus had high standards for himself, for his students, for his athletes, and that led to high expectations and high levels of success. During my 26 years at El Dorado, I would say he was one of the 5 or 10 people who had the most influence on this institution that we call El Dorado High School.
So Coach not only taught us about our tennis skills, but also taught us about our life skills, and he really cared about each and every one of us.
He helped us to become stronger people and helped us to make sure that we became optimistic and caring people.
We all miss you and we always love you, Coach.
He didn't muddle words. He didn't always tell you what you wanted to hear, but he told you what you needed to hear. To know John is to be blessed by him in so many ways. Love you, John.